suggests to Mo Xiaobei that whoever stole the points must have gone inside, prompting Xiaobei to order a full search of everyone they come across. He makes it clear that they must find the thief no matter what, and he won't let the person responsible get away so easily. Yi Tian hears everything and realizes he needs to stay out of sight for a while or risk being discovered. With that in mind, he leaps through the air, weaving between tall, half-ruined buildings, lost in thought. Sooner or later, all the students, including Mo Xiaobei, will know the truth. Once he submits the monster parts for point calculation at the end of the exam in 3 days, it will be clear that he was the one who defeated the monster worth 1,000 points. Until then, he decides to stay low and focus on getting even stronger. Just then, Ye Tian spots a place that looks safer for shelter and lands there. He opens his bag and studies the monster's blood, wondering how much stronger he might become by drinking it. Without a second thought, he gulps it down. The taste is absolutely disgusting, but for Ye Tian, gaining strength to protect his sister is worth any price. As he thinks about her, far away at her school, Ye Yu wonders how her brother is doing. Back with Ye Tian, a powerful surge of energy surrounds him, and his cultivation speed begins to rise almost 4 times faster than normal. That's when he realizes why Chendong and the others were growing stronger so quickly. With just 2.5 days left, he knows he must cultivate as hard as he can. 3 days later, the examiner from the academy starts recording everyone's points. Li Yunxing steps up confidently, a proud look on his face, and asks the examiner to announce his score. He has 195 points, which he considers a solid result. Many students are impressed, nodding in approval, until Mo Xiaobei and his bodyguard arrive. With a smug grin, Xiaobei mocks the others for celebrating such low scores. Then, with a wicked smile, he hands his bag to the examiner. The entire arena erupts in chaos when the examiner announces his total 427 points. Lin Yunxing, filled with jealousy, accuses Mo Xiaobei of stealing points, but the other students are clearly impressed and begin congratulating him for having the highest score so far. However, Xiaobei's expression darkens as he admits that the true highest score should be 1,000. Since no one else has shown up with that number, the examiner concludes that anyone who hasn't returned by now is most likely dead, and based on that, Mo Xiaobei should be awarded first place in the exam. Just as the decision seems final, a sound of footsteps echoes through the area, catching everyone's attention. The students and the examiner all turn toward the source, and from a distance they spot a shadowy figure approaching. Curiosity fills the air as they watch closely, eager to find out who this mysterious student really is. The student turns out to be none other than Ye Tian. He walks up confidently to the examiner and hands over his bag, which contains the monster's eyeballs. The examiner, clearly stunned, loudly announces Ye Tian's score, 1,163, declaring him the top scorer in this year's practical exam. His rewards include 3 bottles of monster blood and 100,000 wen in cash. Ye Tian's friends cheer for him with excitement, while Li Yunxing stands there in disbelief, wondering how this kid managed to pull off such a victory. Meanwhile, Mo Xiaobei grits his teeth, realizing he has been publicly overshadowed. What stings even more is finding out the person who beat him is from the 5th Academy. With quiet fury in his eyes, he signals his bodyguard to dig up everything there is to know about Ye Tian. Despite the tension, Zhangbao beams with pride, flexing in front of the 1st Academy students and bragging that his friend just did something legendary. On the other hand, the professor of the 5th Academy doesn't share the same joy. He looks concerned, knowing Ye Tian has now offended a family as powerful as the Mo clan, and fears that this victory might cost him his life. Later on, the top 3 participants, Ye Tian, Xiaobei, and Lin Yunxing, finish getting their photos taken, officially marking the end of the practical examination, followed by the prize distribution. As they stand together on the podium, Xiaobei throws a backhanded compliment at Ye Tian, praising him for having the guts to steal from him. But before the tension escalates, Lin Yunxing steps in and defends Ye Tian, pointing out that just like Xiaobei, Ye Tian earned his points through his own skill. Still clinging to his pride, Xiaobei claims he's the strongest, prompting Ye Tian to challenge him right then and there to a fight whenever he's ready, so they can settle who truly deserves that title. Ye Tian knows that once you're targeted by someone powerful or politically connected, there's no running away. The only option is to become strong enough that they won't dare challenge you again. Fast forward 3 days, Ye Tian finally returns home. Ye Yu immediately rushes to hug him and checks if he's hurt. She's relieved to see he's okay. Ye Tian then surprises her with a large sum of money, telling her it's for her education and living expenses. Their playful moment is interrupted when he pulls out a mysterious book, the Illustrated Book of Treasures. Ye Yu eagerly sits beside him as they flip through its pages together, and that's when Ye Tian spots an image of the very same stone he saw on the ceiling during his hunt. It's called the Terracore Elixir, a rare substance known to boost a person's natural talent for cultivation, though it only works for those with low or mid-level abilities. Interestingly, the book also mentions that even rarer terramordial stones, which can enhance high-level talents as well, are sometimes found nearby. This makes Ye Tian realize that the monster must have used the Terracore elixir to grow stronger, and now he's accidentally taken this incredibly rare treasure without even knowing its true value. His thoughts are interrupted when Ye Yu hands him the Terracore elixir, now stored in a small flask. But Ye Tian no longer needs it, so he simply smirks and tells Ye Yu to drink it instead, saying it's her turn to become stronger. Ye Yu is completely shocked. Both siblings are sitting in the lounge, but none of this makes sense to her. She refuses to drink the elixir, arguing that she hasn't even awakened her talent yet, and it might end up being wasted. When they check her status window, it shows cultivation talent as low tier, and her first talent as novice tier, still unawakened. Since her talent is low tier, there should definitely be some improvement after drinking the Terracore elixir, though Ye Tian has no idea how big that improvement might be. Still, Ye Yu suggests they sell it instead, saying that something this valuable would fetch a huge price. Ignoring what he calls her dumb suggestion, Ye Tian flips through the book again and learns that the location where the elixir was found might have also held a rare terramordial stone. Realizing he destroyed the place, he starts to regret it. Now, if word gets out, potential buyers might not believe he doesn't have the stone and could even come after him for it. Ye Yu is stunned, calling it a complete waste. Not wanting to waste the elixir too, Ye Tian quickly picks it up and, before she can protest, opens her mouth and forces her to drink it. Ye Yu grunts and coughs, but then a warm, comfortable feeling spreads through her. However, when they check her status again, her cultivation talent still shows as low tier, leaving Ye Tian wondering if the book might have been wrong. Ye Yu, feeling sleepy, decides to lie down and rest. Meanwhile, Ye Tian chooses to wait a little longer, thinking maybe the elixir just hasn't taken effect yet. About an hour later, Ye Yu is fast asleep on the sofa, while Ye Tian sits nearby at the table in the same lounge. Suddenly, strong waves of talent aura begin to radiate from Ye Yu. Ye Tian quickly checks her status window and is stunned to see her cultivation talent has jumped to mid-tier, an increase of 2 full tiers. With a mid-tier cultivation talent combined with her rare frost talent, Ye Tian is certain that Ye Yu has the potential to become a top-ranking martial warrior in the future. That realization sharpens his own determination. Thinking of Xiao Bei, he silently dares him to bring it on, because Ye Tian refuses to ever lose to him. Later, back in his room, Ye Tian is drinking the monster's blood again, which tastes worse than anything he's ever had. Worse than shit, even. But to offset the horrible flavor, he munches on peanuts while wondering just how much this will improve his cultivation speed. To his surprise, the speed is now increasing at 8 times the normal rate. He's amazed at how effective mid-rank monster blood really is. If he had enough of it, he's confident he could break through to the martial warrior realm within a month. Unfortunately, he only has 2 bottles left, which leaves him wondering what his next move should be. 10 days later, deep in the woods of the 5th Academy, Ye Tian is calmly meditating, his powers quietly circulating, when Zhang Bao comes rushing toward him in a panic. Out of breath and full of fear, Zhang tells him that Mo Xiaobei has gone into seclusion and is trying to break through to the martial warrior realm. Zhang is shocked to see that Ye Tian doesn't even flinch. Instead of being worried, Ye Tian actually feels disappointed that Xiaobei hasn't challenged him yet. He already looked into Xiaobei's talent and knows that his cultivation is mid-tier as well, so it'll likely take him about a month to make the breakthrough. Zhang tries to make him see how serious this is, reminding him that Xiaobei comes from a wealthy and powerful family, and that just 3 bottles of monster blood won't be enough to beat someone like that. Getting dramatic, Zhang promises to collect Ye Tian's corpse as a loyal friend, and even vows to take good care of Ye Yu. Tian completely ignores the nonsense and focuses on what he has left, some low-rank monster blood and the blood from the monster's heart. With those, he'll probably reach the advanced martial apprentice rank, which is just one small step below the martial warrior realm. It might not be enough for a full breakthrough, but with his speed and sword talent, he's confident he can still go head-to-head with a real martial warrior. In another part of the world, at the Mo estate, the steel gates of the Grand Castle burst open, and from a distance, the shadow of a powerful figure emerges. It's none other than Mo Xiaobei. His bodyguard immediately bows in respect and congratulates him on successfully advancing to the martial warrior realm. Mo Xiaobei has undergone a complete transformation. A strong, commanding energy now surrounds him, and it's clear that things are about to get much tougher for Ye Tian than he ever anticipated. In the hall, Xiaobei is being attended to by the servants, looking calm and composed. Meanwhile, Mo En, an elite martial warrior of the Linhai base's wealthy and prestigious Mo family, and the father of Mo Xiaobei, enters the room. Mo En is overjoyed that his son has completed his secluded training and praises him for successfully breaking through and becoming a full-fledged martial warrior. Xiaobei, now clearly stronger and more confident, assures his father that he will never bring dishonor to the Mo family name. When Mo-en tells him that the family's ancestor will personally reward him, Xiaobei immediately kneels, expressing heartfelt thanks to both his father and their ancestors for the guidance and support they've given him over the years. His father doesn't let him kneel long and gently urges him to eat and enjoy all his favorite food and drinks, specially prepared on his orders. As soon as Mo-en leaves, Xiaobei's expression darkens. He turns to his bodyguard and demands to know if the task he assigned before going into seclusion has been completed. Without hesitation, the bodyguard informs him that Ye Tian has no parents, no family ties, and no political or influential backing, which means they can deal with him however Xiaobei wants. Hearing that his enemy has no protection or support, Xiaobei decides it's time to end the game, but he plans to do it in a far more entertaining way. Believing Ye Tian to be weak, Xiaobei orders his bodyguard to arrange his assassination. The bodyguard warns that committing murder in their territory could cause complications, but Xiaobei insists on doing it discreetly using a shadow assassin. Although the bodyguard hesitates, noting that hiring a shadow assassin would cost at least 1,000,000 yuan and might not be worth it, Xiaobei explains his reasoning. In Linhai Base, only a few powerful families hold control, while everyone else lives like slaves. When poor commoners show signs of talent, the elite act quickly to eliminate them and maintain their grip on power. Meanwhile, deep in the forest of the 5th Academy, Ye Tian has been training for hours, his body surrounded by a strong aura. When he senses the rain approaching, he decides to head home. As he walks through the pouring rain, he suddenly feels a presence nearby and checks the status window. It's someone named Li Kun, possessing a shadow talent. Before Tian can fully process what's happening, Li Kun leaps from a nearby rooftop and attacks him with a sword. Tian narrowly dodges the strike and demands to know who he is. Li Kun grins with a sinister edge and makes it clear that he's there to kill him. Li Kun's eyes are bloodshot, and a red dagger is clenched between his teeth. His terrifying appearance sends Ye Tian's thoughts racing as he tries to make sense of the situation. At first, he suspects this could be an assassin sent by Mo Xiaobei, but that doesn't quite add up. Xiaobei is already strong enough to face him openly, so why would someone with that kind of power resort to a sneak attack? The confusion lingers in his mind, but he doesn't have time to dwell on it. Li Kun suddenly leaps high into the air, dagger pointed forward, ready to strike. Ye Tian quickly raises his sword to block the attack and then jumps back, only to realize that Li Kun has vanished. That's when he understands the nature of the shadow talent. It grants the ability to turn invisible. As Ye Tian turns around, Li Kun reappears right behind him, blade aimed at the back of his head, but thanks to his speed skill, Tian narrowly dodges the strike. The failed sneak attack frustrates Li Kun, who clearly didn't expect someone at Ye Tian's level to be this fast. Tian decides it's time to stop playing defense and flips the situation. With a wicked grin, he lunges forward and swings his weapon at Li Kun, but once again, the assassin disappears. This kind of talent would be difficult for an ordinary martial artist to handle, but against Ye Tian, tricks like these are completely useless. In the middle of a narrow alley, Ye Tian stands still, focused entirely on sensing his opponent. The moment he feels a shift in energy, he swiftly swings his sword, sending Li Kun's body flying through the air. Blood gushes from Li Kun's mouth as he crashes to the ground, stunned and disbelieving. He can't comprehend how Ye Tian, who isn't even an elite martial warrior, could see through his shadow talent. Driven by curiosity and desperation, he demands an explanation. But Ye Tian remains calm, slowly walking toward him, and instead of answering, turns the question back on him, saying that if Li Kun really wants to know, he must first reveal his own identity. Smirking, Li Kun tries to reach for his weapon and taunts that he'll only reveal the answer when Tian is taking his last breath. In a flash, he attacks again. Ye Tian leaps into the air to dodge the strike, and the moment his feet touch the ground, he launches forward with incredible speed, piercing his sword straight through Li Kun's body. Standing behind him, Ye Tian demands once more to know who hired him. With a dying laugh, Li Kun praises Tian as the strongest martial artist he's ever fought, and with his final breath, he confesses that it was Mo Xiaobei. Tian crouches beside the fallen body, reaching toward the streams of dark energy leaking out, and copies Li Kun's shadow talent. As the power transfers, a surge of energy rushes through Ye Tian's body, and his status window confirms the successful copy. Now, it shows a mid-tier cultivation talent and blade talent, with both his speed and shadow talents ranked at the novice tier. Rain continues to pour from the sky, with flashes of lightning cutting through the dark clouds as blood covers Li Kun's lifeless face. Instead of leaving him there, Ye Tian gathers nearby stones and buries the body beneath them. As he does, a thought crosses his mind, that a person shouldn't live like a leaf, helplessly tossed around by the wind and rain. Walking away, he notices a single leaf drifting down, catches it in his hand, and silently promises himself that he will live not as the fallen leaf, but as the wind and the rain itself, strong, powerful, and unstoppable. Leaving the forest behind, Tian returns home just as heavy clouds continue to gather over the city. After a hot shower and drying off, he settles into the lounge, sinking into the sofa with a long sigh of relief. He's brought back everything that belonged to Li Kun, including his weapons. Picking up the twin blades, Tian immediately realizes they are primordial weapons, the kind that far outclass his own sword, which had broken during the fight. Li Tun's belongings also include a gold card worth 1 million yuan and a silver card worth 100,000, making a total of 3.5 million yuan. Without a second thought, Tian slips the cards into his wallet,